Hi, this is Laura Whitmore with Acoustic Nation, and I'm here today with Greg Holden.
Hi, how are you
Hello.
doing?
I'm great. How are you
I'm
doing?
wonderful,
I know you were up late last night
always.
releasing your new album, Chase the Sun.
Exactly.
I
It's a
was
big day.
there. It was a great show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I really liked how you had some really great dynamics to the show, so you can be really sweet and quiet and then
And
kick
rock.
some, you know what?
Got to bring the rock every now and again, especially in acoustic music, right? It's fun to like make some noise.
Yeah, you played an acoustic the whole show.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Which we'll get into in a minute. So Chase the Sun, tell me about sort of maybe your thoughts or concepts behind that project and where that came from.
Yeah, Chase the Sun, the title kind of sums it up. It's supposed to be an optimistic, positive album. You know, my last one was not so much that way.
I
And
know,
this
I listened to it. I was like, holy cow.
No, you know, I'm a lot happier now than I was when I wrote that last album. So this album is much more optimistic. There's a lot of positive messages in it, and you know, I was trying to say something that would make people feel good, you know, and not so much just write songs about myself.
That's cool, but your songs are still really, I don't want to sound cliche, but there's a lot of depth to them.
Thank you.
You know,
I appreciate
I mean,
that.
it's not just, hey, we're going to have a good time.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm really influenced by musicians who come from much more of a social commentary place. You know, they kind of they're saying something important. I'm really inspired by that.
Yeah.
For me, that's why I started writing songs, not to just sing, you know, sweet love songs, which is great. Those songs have their purpose, but I don't want to write them.
So who are some of your influences?
I'm
that you can
heavily
hear?
influenced by like Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, George Harrison.
I can hear a little bit of that.
Yeah,
Tom Petty, George Harrison,
totally. They're the best.
Bob Dylan thing
Yeah.
happening.
Should have been in the Traveling Wilburys, shouldn't I?
Tell me a little bit about your songwriting process. Do you write by yourself or
I used to write entirely alone because somehow I had this chip on my shoulder and felt that I needed to do it alone for it to mean anything. And then I realized that that's not actually true. So I started writing with a lot of my friends, just because I think my friends help pull me into a more positive place. If I'm alone, I write like really depressing songs. So you know, the Chase the Sun was actually written a lot by half of it was written by myself, and the rest of it was me and my buddies.
That's cool. And you recorded. It was produced by Greg Wells,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
talk to me about working with Greg.
Greg is one of the most talented musicians that I've ever been around. He can play every instrument perfectly, and I'm like, okay, well, you do everything.
I'll see you later.
I'll just play acoustic. It was amazing working with Greg. You know, he's got a lot of experience. He's worked in the pop world a lot, which was a new experience for me. And you know, it was really inspiring being around someone who was just such a virtuoso in everything. I learned a lot.
Well, the album sort of walks the line between there's a lot of acoustic on it, but it's not a singer-songwritery type
No,
vibe at all.
I didn't want it to be.
It's got that pop punch
Yeah,
to it.
I wanted to
and
make something bigger.
Yeah, it's
you
got
know?
some really strong choruses but with great messaging. So
Thank you.
good job.
Cheers.
So you wrote Home for Philip.
I did. I co-wrote Home. Yeah.
And how did that come about?
Well, I wrote that song with a guy called Drew Pearson in LA. And, you know, we wrote this song and we liked it, and that was it. And then 6 months later, we got a phone call that was like, Phillips from American Idol wants to use it. And I was like, really? This song? Okay. And he did, and then it became a huge hit, so that was a bonus.
And that kind of helped you move into a better place with what you were doing.
Yeah, because, you know, I've always tried to keep my integrity the best I can. And when you're not making any money, it's very, very difficult to keep doing that and survive. So, you know, Home was a great blessing for me because it enabled me to keep making the music that I wanted to make without sacrificing any of my integrity and, you know, do it properly. So I made the album with Greg Wells independently with no label. And then I found the right home for it. You know, I went around looking for the right label, which was that's a very lucky position to be in.
So the album was done before you went to look. Wow.
Yeah, it was done, and you know, I wanted to find a label who believed in what I was doing, and not necessarily, you know, a label that wanted to just kind of make a bunch of money from me and have me do whatever they wanted me to do. You know, so Warner Brothers is a great label for that. They're very much, you know, career driven. They're a career driven label.
And they have some great people working.
They really do. Some of my yeah, they really do. And
They
some of
do.
my some of my idols are on that label.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really cool. And so I understand that you took a trip to Nepal, was it?
Nepal and India.
And that changed your point of view, I guess, your outlook.
Yeah, I went on in search of this like life-changing trip, and it did change my life. It kind of just gave me a whole new perspective on how lucky I am to be doing what I'm doing. There's so much poverty there. I was traveling through the poorest state in India, and one thing that really affected me was that nobody had anything, but everybody was smiling.
Yeah.
And then I came back to Brooklyn, and everybody has everything, and nobody's smiling. And I was like, oh, we haven't got our stuff figured out as much as we think we have. So
Yeah.
it made me realize how lucky I am.
And that reminds me of that song on your album, Don't Take Your Life.
Exactly. That was the first song on the record. That's the first one that kind of sparked the rest of the songs.
It's a great song.
Thank you.
Really feels good.
Thank you. I'm glad. See.
With good drum.
Yeah.
Massiveness. So let's talk for a minute about your guitar and your gear and what you write on and what you use.
This is my road horse. It's a Gibson J45 from 2001, I think. I have a couple of vintage ones, but I don't like bringing them on the road because, God forbid, I would hate.
The road is not nice.
No, it's not nice to guitars. So, thankfully, me and my band, we travel with Colton guitar cases too, which are like indestructible guitar cases. So, we can take slightly older guitars and they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is my workhorse. This is the first guitar I bought when I moved to New York, and I love it. It actually broke once. It was in a really bad guitar case, and it fell, and the neck just split right off, and it was the worst day of my life.
Oh
but
my
then I took it to
gosh, I
Mandolin
bet it
Brothers.
was.
I took it to Mandolin Brothers in Staten Island, and they fixed
They
it
can
up.
fix it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they said it would be stronger than it ever was in the
Bionic.
beginning. Yeah. So thank God, because that was a horrible moment. I was at soundcheck in England somewhere, and I hadn't taken my guitar out of the case since it had fallen over, and I pulled the guitar out and it was totally out of tune, and I was like, this is weird. And then I noticed there was just this huge gash, this big crack in it, and I was like, no.
Did
my
you
God.
check your guitar on a plane? And
Yeah, I had to fly home
baggage?
with it. With it all broken. Oh God, it was horrible.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Well, it's better now.
Yeah, it's
and so
fixed.
that's your guitar that you write on and
For the most part, yeah. I actually like to write on my older ones. I have a 52 LG1 and I have a 67 J45 that I really love to write on, just because they sound a little better.
Yeah.
They're more inspiring.
Cool. Nice.
This is my touring. This is my touring buddy.
It's your buddy, which we'll hear in a minute.
Yeah.
And so now you just released the album. You're touring
With Delta Ray. Yep.
and
then I'm going out with Ingrid Michaelson in June on the West Coast.
then what's happening?
And then hopefully more and more touring.
Yeah.
It's about getting this album heard and playing in front of people. So
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I'm excited to hear you play.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.